Okay, here we go, guys. All right, so for whatever reason, oh, how can I put this? YouTube has all these suggestions of different sites that I go to, such as CNN and CBS News, only because I watched CBS and the Oprah thing, and Bloomberg. And, they've got their agenda for me, which I ignore it. And anyway, I can't load up on my other channels right now. And one on the main channel, what happened was they dug up an interview that was from 2017 on Mike Pence, and the person speaking was Robert David Steele. So, and it was just a few minutes long, perhaps 8 minutes tops. But that was considered, I don't believe I even said anything. And that was considered, and I quote, cyberbullying. But then it got deeper, what I can and cannot say. Right now, there is such a huge list. I have it on an email. My jaw was hanging open when I read it. Essentially, I can't say anything. But I want you to listen to Nigel. Now, let me see. I kind of figured the British royal family or loyalists would react this way. I think a lot of times people look at, from what I can tell, it's like our support for a certain person here, could be an elected official, maybe not, or like a rock star or something like that. Like I love the Rolling Stones in a certain way. Or, either certain people that have run for office that I just really like, and that type of thing. But that's how I think people in Great Britain feel about the British royal family. I think it sort of carries to the same sort of thing. The same kind of loyalty. So when you attack them, it's like you're attacking their sister or brother, or you know what I mean? It's like you're attacking a member of their family. They get very defensive. So that's what I think is going on right now. And I think it's can't tell if the media is talking about it too much or talking about it just to get attention, or just because they're getting clicks and they're getting views, or because they're really interested in it. Now, but Nigel, on the other hand, is a person that I will definitely listen to. Now, I have heard this already, so I wanted to share it with you, and then I'll sign off. I didn't even know he had a channel. I can't believe YouTube never put this on my recommendeds, because I've watched so many videos. I've watched every single speech or presentation he's given at the European Union Parliament. Is that what it's called? The EU Parliament? Yeah. I've even shared it with my brother. So I don't really understand why YouTube didn't catch that in my algorithms, but whatever. So let's go on. Let's go. Okay. It should be coming up. And we will go. Here we go.
It's dominating everything. We're doing so for a very long time. It seems in America that they're gaining a lot of support. People feel sorry for them. They've got what's called mover's advantage.
I think if media figures are doing it, be it conservative or, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. I think that people really haven't researched anything to do with this. Like I was watching this sportscaster that said, I went to London 3 times to go to a football game there. And boy, I really like it, and I don't want this to be another Princess Diana. I'm like, are you kidding? I said, the guy just sounded like an idiot. He absolutely was out of his depth on this. All right, let's go.
They've got their side of the story out first. I'm not sure how the royal family are going to respond to this. They've been put in a very, very difficult spot. But you know, all of this was so predictable. I remember thinking at the time of the wedding, and I was doing some work for Fox News on the wedding, I remember thinking, why is Oprah Winfrey there? I mean, Meghan met her once. I think she planned a big Hollywood career on the back of being a princess right from the very word go, and that Harry was just too weak to deal with it. But just look at the accusations that are being made. Look at the charge against the royal family of racism. Now,
Oh, I don't believe it, but I knew it was
everyone knows
coming.
when a baby's on the way, there's always speculation. What will it look like? Who will he or she look like? What colour will their hair be? How big will they be? What will they weigh? I don't know whether somebody in the royal household made a comment about what the colour might be.
Of course they
I
probably
don't know
did.
the truth of that. I really honestly don't. But when Meghan was questioned on that, you know, did somebody in the royal household ask what colour the baby would be? She said, potentially. Either way, we won't know. But it is the slur of racism against the royal family which really upsets me. The Queen is coming up now for 70 years, not just as the Queen of our country, but head of the Commonwealth. She and the royal family have ceaselessly, over the decades, toured around the Commonwealth, something that has meant so much to them. The vast majority of the 2.3 billion people that live in the Commonwealth are Asian or black. You could argue the royal family have done more for people of colour than any family or group of people in the world. So that charge, to me, just doesn't stand up. As for this whole business about mental health, about bullying, about being silenced, well, you know, she might have thought she was joining a soap opera,
You know what? Sorry about that,
but
Nigel.
she was joining.
I'm not sure if I believe that. Um, in 1 year, I mean, I don't know. I I wow. I mean, she was basically taking a Diana interview and mimicking it, which is what she does for a living or did do for a living. Let's go.
The royal family. Maybe she thought she was going to replace Lady Di. Maybe she thought she was going to be
Yeah,
the
she
centre
was.
of all attention.
Yeah.
But the idea that she has somehow been done down or discriminated against in any way.
But see, Diana was going to be the Queen of England. Okay, so Kate is her equivalent. But just listen to what Nigel says here.
Is nonsense. The crowds that were there on the day of the royal wedding, the street parties that took place across the country, the media, it was wall to wall. Do you remember her going to Brixton? They were cheering, "We love you, Meghan." I can't think of anything, any negativity in the press at the time of their wedding. Sure, criticism followed. It always does if you're a public figure with the English tabloid press. That goes with the territory. But this all started because Harry and Meghan were lecturing us about climate change, about carbon emissions, whilst flying around the world in private jets. And that was when the criticism began. So off they went to Canada, to live in isolated Canada, because they didn't want the press.
I think it was a little more than that. I think it was that she basically refused protocol. And I think maybe a lot of women might be a little bit more in tune with this than men. We call them pantyhose here. I've done this a million times. The situation with the hat. Like you should wear a hat in this situation. She didn't want to wear one. She wouldn't wear pantyhose. She just went bare-legged. And people felt like, okay, why is she constantly trying to break? It was like every rule she was trying to break. But I think one of the biggest things that was that every time she wore something and her clothes were very ill-fitting, she would put it up on a site called Meghan's Mirror, which basically, I'm going to go here right away. she took all of the clothing, and before she finished the event, it would be up on this site, and she was making money off of it. But she was asked not to do that, not social media stuff. She wanted to take over. Look at, you see what I'm saying? I mean, it just kind of doesn't stop. And then here's her latest picture. She's been basically advertising herself and trying to get whatever she can out of this gig. And people were thrown back by that. Can you imagine Princess Anne doing something like this? Or one of the Cambridges? Or Eugenie? Beatrice? Any of them? Look at this. We've curated a collection of our favorite Mere Meg collection pieces. So basically she'll pimp out something for how can I put this? She'll put I remember once there was a lip gloss that I got that was Chanel. And she'd have Chanel on here. And then here HRH. Now, you know what I'm saying? Buyers are raving. This shop got multiple 5-star reviews in the past 7 days. Your royal closet. Contact. You see this? Meghan Markle inspired. HRH, see what I'm saying? This is why people don't like her. What does this remind you of? Princess Diana black sheep sweatshirt. Think about this, people. This Mr. Farage, Nigel, I love you. You know that. But this is the reason why people don't like her, because she does stuff. She's been asked not to do it. My Royal Closet Artist Series? You've got to be kidding me. Oh, and this is supposed to be a Come on, you guys. Does anyone sort of understand why maybe they don't like her? Oh, and then she puts the Queen. Does the Queen know she